Well, welcome to this Quantum Leap Facebook Live, wherever you see this, if it's on all the platforms. I'm about to bring in an incredible being who is a seven-figure coach who can help guide you and show you how you can create a seven-figure business in a quantum way. In a quantum way, that means you can do 10 years worth of stuff in 1 year. We're going to talk about the hacks, the technologies that are inside your body, inside your being. We are going to go deep. We're going to geek out. I'm going to invite them into the live. Strap yourselves in. I'm just going to bring some friends in now. This is going to be a big one. If you are a bit of a geek, if you love all things quantum, you will feel right at home. If you are new to the quantum realm, if you have never dived into quantum physics, quantum mechanics before, this will be an absolute masterclass. And we are doing this as part one. We will then do part two in a few days' time. And that will be in my DNA activation group. So part one we're going to do here. Part two we will do in the DNA activation group for those of you who want to go even deeper. And let me know if you're watching this live, if you're watching this on the replay, comment replay. If you're already into the quantum realm, maybe just write quantum. If you are brand new to this and you're excited, maybe just put excited. And let's see where you're all at. I always loved physics. I've always been a geek. I loved science, but when I learned about quantum physics, everything started to make sense. Because once you start playing in the quantum realms, the possibilities are literally endless, literally infinite, and it is just a whole different way to live, and it's so much more fun. So I'm just inviting some beautiful people to come and join us now. Strap yourself in, do whatever you need to do to feel really good, whether that's to take a deep breath, get nice and grounded and connected, tune in. Myself and Ivan, who I'm going to be bringing on very shortly, we call it tuning into the quantum, the realm of infinite possibilities, where you can be anything, where everything is. I'm going to see if I can invite Ivan in, and let's do this by the power of technology. He's going to magically appear somehow. While we wait for that to happen, what are your experiences of playing in the quantum realm? What does quantum even mean to you, whoever's tuning in?
We are spinning around. This is so cool. I'm like sideways.
Yeah, now we're perfectly side by side. And we are an ocean apart. Ivan is in New Jersey in the US.
Yes.
I'm here in Manchester in the UK. By the power of technology, we're able to talk and share. And this was something really cool, Ivan. I already have been telling everybody how amazing you are. But once I realized I could do client sessions through Zoom, and my client could be in America or Australia, and as soon as I say the thing, they start to cry. There's no time delay, right? There's no time delay here. We're already in the quantum, right? We already have like this instant communication, which is just such a phenomenal thing, and wasn't there when I was a kid, and now we have it. So it's really fun to play. Welcome. Thank you so much for coming and joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
I have basically been telling everybody how you're just the most amazing being. Well, I'll give you a little bit of background on how I met Ivan. So Ivan runs a group to help seven-figure spiritual visionaries create these businesses where they can transform the world and their own lives and other people's. And I tapped in, and as soon as I got in there, I saw your picture. It was like Harry Potter vibes, all about magic. And then the first ever video I saw, you were talking about the quantum playground. And as soon as you started talking quantum, I was so just like, yes, I was fully in. If something's quantum, I'm all in. I'm like, yeah. I said to my friend earlier, I said, if it's not quantum, I don't want it. Would you like another salad? I want the quantum salad. So yeah, it was such an absolute pleasure to do that. And for anyone who doesn't know you as a being, Ivan, you want to share anything about why you're here today? What brought you to this magical place?
Yeah, I wrote this down before our conversation, Luke. I said that I've given 99% of my old life behind and hurled myself into the unknown, that 1% that was missing, and it's given me access to live fully 100% in my truth, in my authenticity, in my unapologetic nature. And it was it was an easy yes. It was an easy yes because I had an opportunity to let go of everything in my previous life. I lived very much in my head. I lived very much based on what other people said was going to create success. And I am one of the first entrepreneurs, one of the first millionaires in my family, self-made. And it has been a gift to let go of everything that I was told, that I was taught, to really rediscover and remember why I'm here, what my purpose is beyond what I was doing in my 9 to 5 in my place of work. And that 1% that I was missing was really an aspect of being able to be in self love, in self recognition, even in the complete space of abandonment and loneliness. I was able to find me as the one discovering me for the first time. And that journey of self realization and self discovery has brought on quantum leaps that the past 2, 3 years of my life, in my old life, would have taken about 20 to 30 years to accomplish. So it's been a journey, but it's been amazing to receive the fruits of that experience, to be really dialed in.
I'll give a short summary of what I know from mine and Ivan's conversations together. So, family from the Philippines, Filipino family, right, and came over to America to make it, and I grew up in that beautiful energy of these parents who were trying really to create this life, but didn't come from wealth or that kind of thing. And I think that's like such a beautiful kind of energy to be around, to see. And now you've taken it to a whole next level. You've literally gone quantum, and so you're not working, you're not having to trade your time and your soul for money now. You've got this different way of being and creating, which I think is so needed right now. And Ivan, when you share with me, you've got this amazing 4-octave range, opera singing, magic. Used to be a gamer, and you did really well in that space, and you trained in the medical world too, right? You went through that whole medical training to be a doctor or something along those lines, and you've really been through the matrix. It's a lot of young guys' dreams to like be paid to play computer games, and that's like you made that happen somehow. And I was actually going through some of your photos on Facebook. I like stalking people, right? And
I love it.
I'm checking them out, and I can see the transformation in you, just like in your level of self-expression over the past 5 years or so. It's like you've totally blossomed into this whole new version of you. So well done for that.
Yes. It's that we call it this quantum identity shift and ascension that we put ourselves through, not because we're afraid, but because we're up leveling and challenging a level of skill like we've never challenged ourselves before. And I think about how video games, there's a rewards and achievements that you unlock when you get through certain stages. I started to see skills that I wanted to develop in my life that I had put in the back burner. So, in terms of singing, I said this is easily translatable to speaking and learning to communicate, learning to storytell, and getting into the coaching space. I was making about $10.66 an hour as a yoga teacher in my previous career. And this was at the director level. So maybe about 30, 40,000 a year after tax. And I started to shift. I love what Bob Proctor says. And this like blew my mind. He's like, what if you can create your annual income in a month? And I said, how is that even possible? And I looked at how I was exchanging my time for money and how transactional that felt. And I really wanted to embody and jump into what time freedom felt like, what time freedom was really like, to be able to do the things that I wanted to, which was forge and form really powerful connections in community, in realization of what I desire to bring forward. And I look at that crossroad and that threshold that says that if we want to get to the next level of evolution in our identity and to transform it and to take that quantum leap, you actually have to invite the unknown, the unpredictable, the things that your mind doesn't understand, but your heart feels so soul led in that it's just leading you intuitively and calling you into action. And this has been a big shift. It's a alchemy of both the logical mind and also the intuitive heart. And we speak about coherence. How do we play in both worlds and get the best of both worlds so that we can be in action as well as vibrate in a very visionary artistic expression of our work and of our art?
One of the things I really like about you, there's lots of things. I'm always messaging Ivan, by the way, saying, I'm just falling more and more in love with you. Like every time I see you speak, you say something else, and I think, can you get any cooler? And you just keep getting cooler. And so you did something the other day. You launched this this course to teach people about using their voice and activating their voice. And like that's even cooler because like you're already Ivan has this amazing group called Conscious Wealth 365, and it's about upgrading your wealth in a quantum way over a whole 1 year, which is incredible. And you're doing so well with that. And you have your leadership programs. And then I saw you're embodying all these parts of you. And it's people are so multidimensional. I found this with myself. I have so many things that I really love and I'm passionate about.
Mm.
And it's, can we bring the fullness of who we are to the table?
Yes.
Can we be fully ourselves? Are we brave enough to do that? And as you were speaking, it's a kind of a cliche, but it literally is like quantum is going from caterpillar to butterfly. That is quantum, right? You have to go in a cocoon and you have to die. Like it melts, it loses itself. It is unrecognizable from the previous. And like you literally have turned into a butterfly. You wear all these beautiful, colorful clothes, and you're like, it's so nice to see Butterfly Ivan. You know, it's here. And so a lot of the people who are tuning in, Ivan, my friends, the people who follow us, they're from our quantum regression program. They're practitioners of like Reiki or Theta. You know, they're coaches. They're a lot of them are very entrepreneurial, either maybe at the start of their business journey, or some of them are quite far along. We have quite a few 5, 6, 7-figure people as well who might be tuning in. And what I love about what you teach, this quantum way, you say we can take your 10-year goals, make it happen in 1 year.
Yes.
How can people do that?
It starts with recognizing that time is an illusion. I remember the first day when I made that $10.66 an hour as a yoga teacher. And I remember having a healing session for an hour. And my client writes, I said it was donation based. So I had gone through a divorce back in 2019. Car was taken, house was taken, savings account was taken. My paychecks, which was direct deposit, my previous partner, we shared an account together. Everything was literally wiped. So I saw it as an opportunity from the universe that said so loudly, "You're ready to receive everything that you've been waiting for." And I remember letting go of that control, that need to feel that level of security. It was coming from a space of scarcity and lack from my inner child. And I abandoned my own inner child. So I had to rediscover and reparent that inner child that was lost for so many years to become the one who stood foot on center stage. And when I look at collapsing time, when we hear about quantum leaps, I had to shift my mindset when it came to time. I had to shift it to say that if I'm exchanging an hour before that was $10.66 for an hour, and then my hour became 1,111, which was the donation that my client at the time gave for the session, and then I created a $111,000 day. And it was such a shift in reality. I remember walking to the bank and the transfer couldn't go through because it only allows $100,000 to go through on a single transaction. Then the $11,000 came the next day. And I was thinking about, if I can create different numbers and different frequencies within a single hour of time, then time actually begins to stand still. It broke my paradigm with time. And I said, we only have these 24 hours supposedly in a day to create. And if we're exchanging each hour of the day for an exchange of money, I said, how do we actually get rid of time? How do we create a lot of money? How do we generate it from a place that isn't being done outside of integrity, out of ourselves, but is full authentic expression of our soul's truth and our gifts? And how do we collapse all this time? And I saw it as that shift. I saw it, Luke, as we get to be and show up as the butterfly, and our business literally gets to be our cocoon. So I shifted. I let my business become its own quantum playground where I get to show up in my own brilliance, in my own way, that allows me to stay conscious, committed, and sustained along the journey itself rather than looking for the destination. So I built a business that allowed me to invest more into myself so that I can invest more into my community and the people I'm serving. And it shifted everything. And I said, the more I can serve myself in a way that allows me to be a brilliant student will allow me to become a great mentor and teacher for my students. And it shifted. It broke literally time space continuum. I saw time literally in the palm of my hand, and I said, I love you, time. I appreciate you, time, because I have my time freedom back, where I get to be in powerful conversations and powerful communities that celebrates this realization that time is an illusion. We don't actually need it. What people want in terms of freedom has little to do with money. It's actually about creating time freedom first so that you can generate as much as you desire on your own timeline rather than someone else's timeline that we were sold into.
Amazing. I get my clients to do a really similar exercise, Ivan. And when we start playing in the quantum, everybody who's tuning in, so if you don't know what quantum means, in physics, quantum means like the smallest observable particle, right? So when people talk about the quantum realm, the quantum field, it's this field that connects everything, this infinite intelligence that's all around us. And when you start playing in that world, it's not about being a physical being anymore. You've got all these energetic tools as well. And I talk a lot about DNA activation. That's one of my groups that I have. And that's where we're going to do the part 2 for this, by the way, in the DNA activation group. So I'll post a link. So you need to come check that out. We'll do that in a few days, the part 2. We're going to go way deeper. So I get people to sit with, okay, how much do you feel really good about making per hour right now? And a lot of people will say like 20 an hour or 50 an hour or something like that. They might stretch themselves and say 100 an hour would feel really great. And I just get them to sit, and we get into what's called a theta brainwave state, which is a really programmable state. This is where I take people when I do my hypnosis sessions on them with clients. This is where we go in our meditations, if you've ever done our quantum meditations. So when you're in that state, you're easily programmable. And I say, okay, whatever number you wrote down that you feel really good about, I want you to put a 0 on the end of it. And I want you to feel what that will feel when you get paid 200 an hour, or 500 an hour, or 1,000 an hour instead. What kind of person will you be? Can you be that person right now? Can you feel what it would feel like to be the person who gets paid $1,000 for an hour at a time? And it's really uncomfortable for some people. It's like caterpillar to butterfly, like, wow, really? Like I can do that, you know? And you sit with it and you start to feel energies moving. And then after a while you go, oh yeah, I could be that. Oh, actually it would feel really good to be that. And when you get to that good feeling place where things can come with ease, this is why I love meditation, because it prepares you energetically for the thing that can then come physically, right? Yes. And so I love that you created that shift from $11 an hour to $1,111 an hour. Right? It's like, it's a really beautiful thing that for a lot of us, I remember the first day I made $1,000 in a day. I had this realization that I was making more than neurosurgeons make. I was like, whoa. If I had gone to the best medical school and I trained as one of the top neurosurgeons in the world, I probably would not make $1,000 a day. Something that's, it's around that, right? 500 to 1,000. I was like, this is incredible. My first ever month where in my own business, I made 5 figures. I was like, wow, I'm getting paid here in a month what I used to get paid in a year. I used to do delivery driving. I was a van driver. Yeah. Whoa, this is incredible. And as we step into the next levels, so I have a certain goal every day that I want to make, and just in terms of money. I love talking about money, everyone. If it's uncomfortable for you, sit, breathe, be with it. It's all good. It's great to talk about money. It's the whole thing to reprogram. So I have a certain money goal. If I make that every day, that's like a great day for me. I made it by 10 a.m. today. And I said to my wife, it's 10 a.m. and I've made my goal for the day. That was just like such a great feeling to have. And since I met you, I just feel like even more playful and even more quantum. Yeah. And it's like, it's so fun, isn't it, when you're around other people who are like playing too, because it up levels you. I love training like in the gym with people who are also really great and really fit, because it makes me push myself more, right? And I love doing business with people who are thriving, because it makes you thrive more. And so your journey of going from, you know, yoga teacher, $11 an hour to 1,111, was there something, can you say like something practical people here can take or use or try, like really allowed you to have that shift?
I had to let go of 99% of people that I was surrounded by and with, because of the level of consciousness that I was learning to create. I had to tap into that 1% that I had no idea what it was, because it wasn't, I had no control of it. It was unpredictable. It was something that I couldn't hold tangibly, but that I can feel in my essence, in my soul, in my being. And when I look at proximity, there's this saying that the 5 people we hang around the most, we become. I had to literally fire my parents, fire my ex, fire friends of mine that were not serving me in a way that allowed me to build the vision that I had. And it was a stepping into a level of leadership where I was no longer dimming my light. I remember going through life, learning how to be humble and to be modest, but the way I was shared and taught kept me poor, and it kept me in a space of lack where there's this inner worth that we have and also our external worth that we create. I looked at the currency of how do we begin to sit with ourselves when it comes to conversations about money. And being reared in the spiritual community, growing up Catholic in the Catholic Church, and the way we're taught to see money as money is some evil thing that makes people greedy. I looked at money as a way instead to amplify who we already are. And if you're a generous person to begin with, money allows you to be more generous. So generosity was one of my wealth codes that I activated within myself to allow myself to say that the more money I make, it allows me to give more and to be of more service to humanity, essentially and especially to people who don't have access to a level of wealth, to a level of investment, to a level of mentorship and coaching. I said, I want to be the first one that invests, like Solomon and I, my partner, we invested over about $400,000 for 7 mentors within the span of about 12, 16 months. And I was like, if my old reality was only
I'm not sure what's happened, Ivan. I can't hear you. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you give me a thumbs up if you can hear me? Or thumbs down? Oh, what happened? Amazing technical glitch. Let me know how you are finding this session with Ivan. Let's see if we can get Ivan back. Can you still hear me? Amazing people. Let me know in the comments if you can hear me. And let me check. See if you can hear me. Yes, I am working. So taking a nice deep breath in. Maybe we blew the, it says the person is unable to join because of technical issues. Ivan, maybe we blew the circuits. Maybe you can just restart your app and then come and join us back again. Let me know the best things that you picked up. Write them in the chat. What has landed for you so far? We will be doing a part 2 of this in my DNA activation group. Let me share that link with everybody. If you're not in there, I have 7 hours of free, completely free DNA activations for you. This is the place I send people if they want to work with me, but maybe they just want to like test things out first. Maybe they want to see a bit about what we can do together. There are meditations. There is a whole online course in there for you for absolutely free. It is just my offering to support anybody, because I never want money to be the reason why people don't do things that they want to do. Let's see if we can get Ivan to come back. So yeah, DNA activation group is a great way. Any of you can come and get into our world a little bit. We're going to do a part 2 in 3 days time. So come and jump in there. And
yeah, I love
Ivan.
You know what's so wild, Luke? I'm going to send you the screenshots of my video right now because it's like playing Tetris. Yeah. This is the first time I'm going live, so this is the quantum field for you. When we start to break the internet and we start to break quantum frequency, the potency of this conversation right now, I'm sideways on this video and you're upright. It is so funny. It's like switch and yang.
Can you turn it? Can you turn yourself? Is that possible?
It is possible. So this is like, this is the fun, like I'm playing literally with the quantum right now, and now I'm upright. Now you're upright. This is so funny. My phone's literally sideways right now.
You look perfect. You look perfect to me in this moment.
Amazing.
You are perfect always, but especially perfect right now.
Like we were getting to a really good part of the conversation too about like what's that big shift.
I asked for people what had landed so far, because we're just riffing, right? We're just channeling and allowing the magic to come through. And that's always my intention, everybody. And I know Ivan works in a really similar way. We do a lot of work to tune in and become these vessels for this energy to come through. And my intention is always to be a vessel for the highest good of all. So we've got an amazing comment here. So something that landed for Eugenia: firing the people who don't serve the mission. That stood out. And journaling: why is it important for me to make more money? Nice. And we've got Tanya saying, playing into the energy of earning more and releasing any blocks that might be there. If you are loving a bit of Ivan, go and join the Conscious Wealth 365 program. Over delivering does not even describe what Ivan does. It is incredible how you show up. Like, generosity is the perfect word, you know. I'm like, wow. And Solomon as well. Solomon, Ivan's partner, is an amazing genius sound engineer, musical maestro mind as well. So you're a great team, you know. And Solomon used to be a monk as well, yeah. Right? And so it's like, what a partnership you've created. And I think it's really nice just to be in your energy field. And yeah, I have this DNA activation group, and I was just sharing with everybody, like, just come and get in the energy field. Yeah. It creates a vortex. When you're in a group with people, there is a literal, this is not like spiritual stuff, this is literal physics. There is an energetic vortex that gets created when you join a container with some other people, and you all uplift each other. We do this anyway, by the way. So basic quantum physics, for anybody who doesn't know, every particle in the cosmos is connected to every other particle in the cosmos by this field. Every particle in you is connected to every particle in me, is connected to every particle in this phone. And when you up-level yourself, when you have an upgrade in bravery, or you have an upgrade in abundance, it upgrades every other particle as well. Everyone in the collective gets that upgrade too. It's up to them whether they tune into it. And that's a whole different thing of, like, how much time do you make to tune in, to receive? You call them the codes, right? How much time do you make to tune in and receive these codes? Yes. Most people, they're so busy, right? Busy, being busy, and they're just making life hard for themselves. You could tune in, do a meditation, and just like I've done with Ivan, got guided to your group. Now that has enriched my life. You know, I found a beautiful another aspect of myself, because I believe that there's just one thing and we're all a part of it. So I've got this beautiful reflection of myself who's doing incredible things in the world. And that was because I took the time to be guided. However you get there, it's like, make the time, follow the breadcrumbs, enjoy the play. So go join Ivan's Conscious Wealth 365. You can go to Ivan Rose Potter. It's all on your Facebook page, I believe, right? Yeah. Is there another way people can grab you? And then we'll go a bit deeper.
There'll be a featured video. It's about 6 minutes, like totally really nice film production. And there's a group that you can access. We have a free group that's for 7-figure leadership ascension. It's the content in there is well worth over $100,000 if you were to sign up for a mastermind for a year. So my gift, I'm saying, is when you alchemize your level of wealth, if you are generous already to begin with, you will want to share so much more. And the secret is immersion. Luke, I say people that practice mindfulness will allow themselves to immerse into content that is 10 minutes to an hour to 2 to 3 to 4 plus. And I look at it as getting comfortable with being immersed in a language, in a mindset that you may not be used to. A lot of it can be new, a lot of it can transform, a lot of it can calibrate and move things that you currently have beliefs around when it comes to money. It's really cool to be able to immerse yourself in a space and a vibration. When we talk about proximity, just by being in our very presence right now, there's an activation that's happening in your cellular makeup, in your genetic makeup, in your current belief system. And when I look at upgrading our internal software, we have an ability to access time that becomes an entire timeline, from past, present, and future collapsing into the present now. And this is the fun. So conversation shifts when I mentioned firing your team, firing people in your life. You can rehire them later on when they're on board with the new vision and mission that you've set out. Because a lot of people will look to disprove and doubt what you've created, and they look for proof. They look for physical proof. And when we start to create quantum leaps, you can't use your eyes, you can't use your ears, you can't use your senses to just tell you that this is your physical, tangible reality. You actually have to enter an even deeper state. You know, you mentioned the theta state, a deeper state in your waking life that becomes a cohesive, coherent field where you're dreaming awake. I love to dream awake. I say we don't have to put our head on a pillow and go to sleep and dream the life that we want to imagine. You get to have it as a living, breathing reality now when you decide to make the choice to no longer be the victim in your life that sabotages their success because you want to stay humble, you want to stay modest. I know the most humblest and modest people are multimillionaires and multi-billionaires. When you meet these people, they will give their time so freely because they remember parts of themselves that never had an opportunity. And when we get to be self-made in that way, what changes and shifts the paradigm is you don't have to be born wealthy to create a wealth of legacy. I had to shift my language also, Luke. I say that a short-term vision is just called a goal, but a long-term vision is called a legacy. I started to develop a legacy form of wealth, how to create more wealth, not only for my timeline, but for multiple timelines. And this is when we start to collapse time, because your leadership, you leading and being able to lead, is going to create a movement where you actually have to do the most uncomfortable things before anyone else who is working with you, who is following you, who is leading with you hand in hand. You have to put yourself first, and then the universe responds in a way that allows you to challenge yourself to your highest level of skill. And then we up level, we hack the matrix, we break free to our next breakthrough. So breakthroughs, I say life can be an uncomfortable journey if we so choose. But I say when you've challenged yourself so many times, and I say fail more, give yourself the opportunity to fail. Because without failure, you are not going to discover a level of freedom and success that is waiting for you on the other side. Get comfortable with doing the uncomfortable. Get comfortable by putting yourself in places, spaces, situations where you say, I don't know if I'm already or capable of speaking at a level that someone can listen to my story. I'm saying, put yourself out there. That person can help you, guide you, assist you, create it in a way where you get to receive yourself in your vibrant vulnerability. To be vulnerable is to say, I am requesting guidance, support, and help from the universe. It's your ability to receive that will create a legacy of wealth that has already been written in the stars.
If that sounds amazing, I invite you to take a nice deep breath in and out. Just allow all of the magic that myself and Ivan and everyone else who's in this vortex that we're all bringing here today. You get to consciously choose how much of this activation you receive. You can breathe this into every cell in your body. You can breathe this into your DNA. You can be a full yes to this, and you can get all of the juice from this beautiful experience. Or you might be distracted, you might be half here, you might just be listening subconsciously, and that can be perfect too. Invitation for you. And I used to do this consciously, Ivan, but it's actually subconscious now, and this is mastery when things become subconscious. When I was learning public speaking, I used to be so nervous about making videos. I was terrible. I paid a mentor like $12,000 for 1 year, and they guided me and coached me, and I made so many videos, and I was so bad. And I'd see these speakers on stage who were like relaxed and flowy, and I used to literally tune in and say, please download into me whatever it is that they have. And I would just imagine literally from I call it source or the creator or all it is or my highest self. I would imagine these codes coming in from the highest possible place, literally filling me up of this person's confidence. And I would try and breathe them in. And I just did it the other day. I was at this amazing mantra singing circle, and I was singing really well, and I was loving how my voice was feeling. And then there was this guitar player next to me, and he was so good. And I just started breathing in his guitar skills. I'm like, upgrade me, like show me, like how can I just? I know it's possible because he is me. He knows how to do this. He is doing it. He's right next to me. I know this is possible for me if I choose it. So I just started bringing that activation in. So with what Ivan is talking about, as we continue, I'm going to maybe speak for another 10, 15 minutes, something along those lines. Open yourself to it if it feels right for you. You don't have to. But if it feels right, just be open. Feel the activations happening. Ivan, I would love for us to go really deep into one of the things you told me, which got me super excited.
Yes.
I call it being turned on, and that's a non-sexual turn on. That's just like a full body yes, like excitement, tingly, you know, everything's ready, like, yeah. I got really turned on and excited when you said this thing. You said, whatever mission you are on right now, there are loads of other parts of you all around the world on the same mission. And when I got into this quantum state and I tuned into that, and I felt, because my mission is to raise the consciousness of humanity so we can all live in unity consciousness, so we can live in oneness, the majority of the planet, to be in that place, because then you would never hurt another part of yourself, you would never steal from another part of yourself, you would never want to win if it meant another part of you lost. You wouldn't do that. It would not make any sense. So this is why I'm here, as a vessel for this unity consciousness. And I tuned in and I thought, and I felt, whoa, there are thousands of people doing this same mission. And you can literally tap into all of their yumminess too. It's just available for you, but you just have to focus your radio antenna, right? You have to like tune into it and send that out, beam that out. And I've been having just the best time. I went to an event and I met this person and he talked like me and you. And I didn't expect it. And I was like, you're the second person I've met in the last few weeks who's like talking the same talk. And I'm tuned in now. I'm like bringing all the quantum people in. They are vibing with what we're doing. And so how can people use that? Because it can feel lonely, right? Has that been a part of your journey? Like feeling the odd one out, or like, especially entrepreneurship, sometimes you're building and maybe there's not, like you said, people don't believe in you, or they even try and put you down, right? And that difference I felt was massive. So how can people use that?
Yeah. I get outside of our own selves when I look through this lens, Luke, and I think about the people that are missing out on your level of service and visionary leadership when they aren't activated by you or not getting access to you. That's where I place it. So instead of putting all of the pressure on you to make a shift and a change, I'm an introvert. I'm an INFJ. I live with what I'll call is quiet confidence. I don't need to be the loudest person in the room for people to notice me. And when I look at that amplification of our energy, when you shine so bright as a beacon for other people, as a vision, your brain's neurons, the mirror neurons in your brain, are going to begin to fire. And as they fire up, when you say you get turned on, literally your brain is turning on cells that were like literally if you were flying an airplane, you're like turning on all the dials and it's like do 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 do, and you get all the access where your energy is so on that you're lit. Your body's literally, your inner fire is at the level of passion where you're ready to go through this gigantic shift and change in terms of perspective. And I look again, I'll repeat it, that instead of looking at yourself and saying, what if I don't do the thing that I'm doing? Rather go into those 100,000 people whose lives could be changed by seeing what a disservice it is for them within themselves. When you don't show up for yourself, they're not getting to show up for themselves. They get deactivated, they get dewired, they get disconnected. And we're just essentially a crystal grid. There's 100 other people just like you and me. There's 100,000 other people like that. And I'm saying that's unity consciousness. It's not, oh, we have all individual consciousness. We actually have a unified vision for humanity that allows heaven to exist here on Mother Earth. We're just visiting here. We're temporary visitors on a temporary stay. And when you can activate your vision and see how many people are suffering when they don't hear the gifts and the talents and the expression of your soul, then that's where you go. Because when you wake up every day, you're asking yourself instead, how many people can I serve today? How many people can I guide and support? How many people who haven't heard a message of being appreciated, of being acknowledged, of being received in terms of their gratitude and appreciation? How do we go beyond rejection itself? We usually reject the things that are on our highest vibration and highest timeline because sometimes we feel like we're not worthy to carry that torch. But just know 100,000 other people are carrying that torch. You might not see them right now, but if you're visioning something for your future, you wouldn't be envisioning it if it wasn't possible. We actually have a cute little rose gold Tesla. I didn't share this with you, Luke. So we have a little Pokemon car. We call her the Divine Mother. And when we were in Miami, all the little kids would notice it and say, that's a superhero car. And before we had the Tesla, I started seeing so many Teslas around, and I started to train my mind and say it to become more normal. So our reticular activating system in our brain is this filter that sometimes our filter can be honed in to things that feel dangerous or unknown or negative or dense in our world. But when you start to flip that filter on to see the quantum playground, to see the quantum field, you're going to get access to things that you've never seen before that get to be on your highest timeline. And this is when you say the highest good of all. We are actually in collective manifestation beyond 24/7. Every thought, every word, every action, both spoken and unspoken, that you say and speak is actually already creating something in the quantum field. And if those thoughts currently are negative, the universe is going to challenge you with a level of negative to balance and neutralize it to become more positive. So we are an evolutionary ionization. We're actually tangible, physical, electrical potential, learning to move and create on the path and the journey. And I'm saying who you are today doesn't define who you were yesterday or who you are going to be tomorrow. Who you are today gets to be the celebration where you get to stand at the threshold of greatness every single day. That life doesn't have to be bad, good, bad, good, bad, good. Call it the feast and famine cycle. I'm saying that your life can be so whole that you can't wait to share what you've discovered, what you've experienced in your wholeness with the rest of the world. You're becoming a holistic vibrational being that is having this human experience, and you're creating a connection that is not disconnected. I say those who are spiritually gifted are also those who are going to attune and activate a level of innovation for different industries, for different businesses. Your gifts are not mere pennies in someone else's industry. I say we're artists, but we serve businesses, we serve coaches, we serve entrepreneurs. We help them shift what they're actually attracting. And money is simply a byproduct. Money buys you speed and time. It amplifies time. It gives you your time back. And when you can flip the equation that the more you create, the more you generate, the more of service you can be to other people outside of yourself. You eliminate yourself from the equation, and then you become collective manifestation itself. So create it for everyone else. Get rid of yourself in the equation because we're really hard to satisfy, I say.
Amazing. Everybody sends so much love to Ivan. If you're vibing with this, lots of love hearts, lots of comments. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So good, so good. Ivan, one of the things I really like about you, I could probably write a book about the things I like about you, right? But one of the things that I like about you, the first time we started messaging each other, you shared with me a vision you had for me. You said, Luke, I see you selling 200K programs. And I thought, okay, that would be cool. And you said you're going to sell a 200K program this year. You just like planted that seed, because that's what we do, right? We go around, I call them light seeds. We just go around and we just start stretching people a little bit, and we're just planting. It doesn't matter if it grows into a tree or not. It's like, oh, let's just go throw some seeds over there. Here, have some possibilities, right? But that then got me thinking, okay, well, okay, so let's create a 200K program. Let's get some 200K program. I have a friend who did exactly this. He was selling a $2,000 program and he wanted to make 7 figures. That means you have to sell like 500 programs. It's crazy. And instead he said, I'm just going to make a $200,000 program and I'm going to go and get 5 clients. Within 1 year, he did it. Within 1 year. And he just had to have a shift, which is the quantum piece. His shift was, who can afford a 200,000K program and feel really good about it?
Yeah.
Okay, well, I have to target millionaires and billionaires. Right, and so that was his shift. So he then just changed his identity, what you said, changed his quantum identity. He became someone who serves millionaires.
Wow.
Got his 5 within a year. Now he's making 7 figures. And it doesn't take that much different amount of energy, he says, to sell a 200K package than it does to sell a 2K package. Right? He says sometimes it's even easier to sell the 200K package. And so I loved when you dropped that in. So I would love for us to round this piece off, and we will do a part 2, everyone, like I said. So join the DNA activation group if you want part 2 in I think we're going to do it in about 3 days time.
Perfect.
What seeds of possibility can you channel and plant in the hearts and souls of everyone who's open to receiving it? What do you see? What's possible?
Yes. To charge $200,000 versus $200 all has to do with trust. We don't trust people enough. We don't trust people in their power enough. We try and hold our own power and control it to fit our own paradigm and our own timeline. And I went backwards. I flipped the script. We call this that quantum flip. I didn't start with a $200 offer or a $2,000 offer. I started with the $100,000 offer in mind. And then one bright soul chose to take that journey, and it created such a ripple that other clients signed up at $200,000 level. And then within the year, 7 figures made it happen. And I look at, it's not what you are sharing and offering, it's your level of leadership and trust in other people's leadership that allows them to face an opportunity rather than opposition. Our mind gets in opposition with opportunities because when we put offers out, we give it a certain price, we package it a certain way, and then we put it out in the world. And we want to make sure that everyone is satisfied in the way that we share it. And when I $1,000 offer to a $20,000 offer to $200,000 offer, it's just adding a zero. When you add an extra zero, this is the sacred geometry and sacred numerology of what is called the matrix. Matrix can be translated in Latin as matria. It means mother. It means the cosmic womb. It means the cell before the cell is implanted and impregnated to create life. And when I look at bubbles and I look at balloons, my partner Salman and I, when we were 4, used to blow bubbles and make wishes in those bubbles. Those bubbles are open. The bubbles, guess what, expand to fit your new vision and vibration. So when you start with 200,000 in mind, you're already serving 200,000 people, no matter the level, no matter the price tag. So I look at price as a level of trust and as a level of leadership, our trust in other people to lead themselves. And when we can trust in other people, what ends up happening is people say, I'm in. I've had conversations in the messenger. People are like, do you need to take sales calls? Do you need to do all these things? I'm saying, you don't need a lot of sales calls. You actually have to create more opportunities for people to sell themselves, to get rid of what's on the table so that they're present with their level of leadership that says, I'm in on my highest timeline. They actually have to close on their highest self, on their highest timeline, and meet you at that threshold of greatness. This is when we get to be all of the visionary quantum leaders in the world, when we start to up level and challenge each other in such a way that is no longer a competition, but a collaborative, collective manifestation. So when you manifest, when you win, we all win. There's no winner or loser anymore in this playing field, in this quantum playground. And it's that trust, that leadership, that people can lead themselves, that everything changes. I love self-leadership. Being self-led is one of the greatest gifts. It's even more powerful than courage, than a belief. I look at self-leadership as saying, I'm going to put myself first. I'm going to challenge myself, no matter how uncomfortable it feels, because at that level of challenge, when you create that success, that becomes your own testament. You become your own social proof and testimonial with you withstanding the challenge that inspires your clients and anyone that you're working with. You actually put yourself first. And if you made the big boss moves, everyone's going to call you a boss and they're going to be reminded what it's like to be a boss, to honor that. You get to mirror that back to your clients and then you up level the whole playing field.
Everybody just breathe in all of that goodness. Let us know in the comments what's activating for you, what's coming up, what's being planted and stirred. If you think you know anyone who would love to hear this, tag them, share this out. Let's get Ivan out to all the world. I love if anybody does join Ivan's 7-figure, if you just type in 7-figure spiritual, Ivan's group comes up like pretty near the top. It's something like 7-figure spiritual gets you there, 7-figure ascension. And if you do join, you get $200,000 worth of value like every day. It's brilliant and I love it. I think that is an incredible thing that you're doing. And there's this thing that people on the spiritual path maybe know about the self. Like, what is our self? Talk about losing ourself, like being selfless. And there's this magical thing that has happened to me in meditation. It's happened to me in shamanic ceremonies. It happens to me in the lucid dreaming state. It happens when I make love. I lose myself. I literally like become the oneness.
Yes.
I call it in my book, I call it soul orgasms. It's like, it's the most blissful feeling. You are the energy that creates worlds. And it is just the most incredible feeling. It can be overwhelming to hold when you first get started. I just used to cry all the time. Me and my wife would be making love and I'd just start bawling my eyes out because I didn't know what to do. It's so emotional. And when you have these soul orgasms, and you can have it outside of the bedroom too. So sometimes when I meditate, this energy just comes, just takes over. From that place, if you're creating from that place, how can I uplift the whole? How can I create and share my magic in such a way that feels really exciting? I get it from you. You just love sharing what you share. It's so nice. And when you can bring that, the fullness of who you are, all your butterfly energy, all your magical quantum, unicorn, dragon, fairy, whatever you resonate with, things start to happen. People get attracted into your world. If you hadn't been brave enough to be your fullest self, I might not have like dived so fully into your world. It was like nectar to me. You talk a lot about honey,
Yeah.
right? You talk about the texture of honey, but it was this nectar. I was like, oh wow, this is nourishing.
Yes.
And thank you for being that.
This is a gift, Luke. What you just unlocked is, in simplicity, I look at the flower itself as a tantric symbol, as one that doesn't live in duality. It uncovers the mask of duality and it becomes a unified consciousness. It becomes the ever evolving journey along the journey when there is no final destination. And I look at people who focus as the worker bee, trying to get the pollen from the honey to create it in the beehive, to alchemize it into honey, which gets extracted. And I look at these three different characters in this play. I say that when you just become the honey itself, when you become magnetic in nature, you ooze with the vibrancy of life. When you mention a soul orgasm, it's you living in the vitality and the highest vibrancy that life has to offer. You actually bring people that were once dead back to life. And you actually bring life and give life and share life with people to create that pranic life force energy that you know is sustainable, that is limitless in potential. This soul orgasm is when we activate a level of identity where we become limitless creators. And these are one of the archetypes that we share and we teach in our world, that when you are limitless in creation, you are no longer a consumer in this reality and being consumed by that unconscious reality, but you are the limitless creator, the wellspring, the truth that continues to bring truth and to share that truth. And I hear this often. People always say, oh, I don't have money to afford that, or I don't have the money. If I had the money, I could. A lot of people use money as an excuse on why they can't create more of what they want in their life. And I say, money problems cannot be solved through money things. So I broke this reality. I shifted this paradigm. I said, what if I can give $100,000 to $200,000 worth of value through a single conversation? I've had clients invest 50 to 100K from a single conversation, from a single 6 minutes. And I've had people take 6, 8, 12, 18 months listening to maybe 60 plus to 100 plus hours of content, signing up for their first $7 a week program, their first $365 program for the year. And I shifted conscious wealth. I said, I want wealth to be so available to those that can't use money as an excuse. And you're going to laugh. Look, I still get excuses from time to time from people that say, I actually don't have $7 or $365 for the year. They'll make some other excuse that says, I'm either too busy. And I say, well, time is the issue. Time is what you're becoming more conscious with. And it changes the game. People have money when they have time because they're bringing presence to the things that they want to create in their life. And this is what shifts the conversation. So whenever money comes up, it has little to do with money. It has all to do with the non-money things that create the non-money problems, where we put money in the way as an excuse and we actually blame money and we externalize our power. So conscious wealth is about taking our power back, being all of us, being the truth that from a first conversation, I don't warm people up, I bring them straight down to the depths.
Get married. Get married on the first date. It's like,
We
yes,
skip
I'm in.
the dating process. I go right to the soul orgasm, I'm saying.
It sounds amazing. Ivan, thank you so much. I'm really looking forward to part two. I hope this whet everybody's appetites, and I hope you have some expanded feeling in your beingness right now, please
Yes.
go follow Ivan. I've tagged you in this post. Go get into Ivan's world, into Ivan's groups. Join the Conscious 365. It's absolutely brilliant. And yeah, come and join us for the part 2. Ivan, if you had a magic microphone and whatever you said for the next 30 seconds, every being in the cosmos would feel it, because we know that they do. What is your key message you think you're here right now to transmit to the world?
Yes. The mind lives in the comfort of inaction, but its greatest triumph is through the heart of action. And making millions is simply you living out the childhood dreams that you've always dreamed of, because the legacy you leave behind has already been written in the stars. And all life is simply asking of you and I is to live, love, and laugh with good company and great luxury.
Sounds good. So that's everything you need to know.
Yep.
Go make some figures. You've got it now. You're done.
That should be a thing, Luke.
If you've ascended to the 5D, if you've ascended to the 5D since this conversation started, please let us know in the comments.
That should be a new segment. Just 30 seconds of 7-figure consciousness and beyond into 30 seconds. That would be brilliant.
So, Ivan, I will show you what is in my diary literally for tomorrow.
Uh-huh.
It's 60-second DNA activations.
There you go.
That is in the diary. You can see that Tuesday, the 4th of April, 4 p.m. UK time, to do 60-second activations for people. So yeah, absolutely. You do 30-second ones, I'll do 60-second ones. We'll do some together. We'll get these people who just need a little dose in the morning. Instead of taking your multivitamin, you just get 30 seconds of Ivan in your ears.
I say if you're contagious, make sure you're spreading love. And if you can do that in 15, 30, 45, 60 seconds, you've just changed someone's hour, someone's day. So yeah, I say activate 30. I'm saying 60 seconds. Look, by the end of the month, you'll be at 15 seconds to like 10-second activations. You'll just have to add the other weeks, 60, 45, 30, 15. Then you go to 5. People are gonna have like soul orgasms like Oprah Winfrey. You get a car, you get a car, you get a car, you get a soul activation, you get a soul activation, you get a soul activation.
That would be great. I look forward to that one day. One day when we're on stage in front of thousands of people and we're going, you're activated, you're activated, you're awakened, you're awakened.
Hey, you go to a Taylor Swift, a Harry Styles concert, a Gaga concert, an Adele concert, an Elvis Presley concert. I'm saying they're doing some activation, vibration magic. You'll see people have literal soul orgasms while they're having this time of their life through sound. So
sound, magic, what can happen. I absolutely, I'm so excited for the future of our planet, especially when these technologies that are currently suppressed. I'll be aware of what I say because I got deleted from Facebook one time for sharing things that didn't want to be shared in the public. But when these technologies that are currently being suppressed that use sound are released to the public, everything will be in our world will be transformed in the most beautiful way. And you watching this, listening to this right now, you know what I'm talking about. You have this inside of you. You've played this game before. This isn't your first time in this quantum conversation. That's why it feels comfortable for you. It's why you know what we're talking about. It makes sense because you're here at this time, this great awakening, because you have an incredible magic to share with the world. And if I can help you with that, if Ivan can help you with that, reach out. Sending you all so much love for this next chapter of your journey. I hope this is the whole next chapter of an incredible life story you've been creating. I'm really activated and I've got to go to sleep sometime in the next 6 hours. I don't know what I'm going to do. I need to go channel all of this energy somewhere. I need to write a poem or sing a song or something.
Here's the 5-second activation to close it, Luke. I say, don't let the story you were sold bury the next chapter of the life that you've been waiting your whole life to tell.
There you go. Done. Boom.